Hi, Kerry here with Best of Us Investors. It's interesting how when times are good, everybody just watches the market go up and doesn't really consider what we have to do to make this work and make it right in hard times. And many times, the best of what is going to happen comes from bad situations. And last night, I was on a conference call, a Zoom call, with about 20 people. And in that group were three other YouTubers, Stock Mo, Larry Jones, and Keenan Grace. And the meeting was put together for total different reasons, but the direction it went was how can we work together and how can we create an atmosphere to help people make better investment decisions and become better traders. And all three of us, Stock Mo, Larry Jones, and Keenan Grace, said that we had reached out to our major brokers and ask them, how can we work together to help people make better investment decisions and learn the right way to trade in the stock market as opposed to some of the dangerous things that have happened in the past. And we were actually talking with Mumu. Yeah, Mumu is a platform, a trading app, the best trading app I've ever seen, that is willing to give you stocks in order to introduce you to their trading app. And my influence at this point was, you can give them stocks, or you can teach them to trade. It's kind of like the biblical statement, give a man a fish and you feed him for a day, teach him to fish and you feed him for a lifetime. And that's what we're working on. And that's what I'm hoping Stock Mo and Larry Jones and Keenan Grace and I can help you move in that direction of becoming better traders. So there's more to this YouTube thing than I think that meets the eye. But bringing us then back to where we are now is we're in a dumpster fire. And I think Elon spoke it best just a few weeks ago.
But both Berlin and Austin factories are gigantic money furnaces right now.
Yeah.
Okay. There should be like a giant roaring sound, which is the sound of money on fire. Okay, that's what
dumpster fire, right? In the back.
Bigger than a dumpster. Dumpster's too small.
So where are we at now, and how low can it go? And my feeling is the stock market has pretty much baked in inflation and higher interest rates. We pretty much know where that's going and how it's going to end. And we've started to see a little bit of rollback in some of the commodity prices, and even gasoline has shown some indications of coming down. So the market has baked that in. And so I would say if that were the only thing that was there, we're at the bottom, and that's where we stay. But I think we need to look deeper, and we need to come to a deeper understanding. And that's what I want to do in this video, to give you some guidance of what I'm going to do and how I'm going to react and what I'm looking for after the 4th of July. Because I guess my feeling is that some of the best companies in the world are on sale. And 2 years from now, if you aren't buying today, you're going to wish you had. So we'll get into that right after I ask you to subscribe and I tell you I'm not your financial advisor.
Best of Us Investors presents Kerry Griegmeyer.
Okay, I have an advantage. I've been through this before. I was a financial advisor when the dot-com bubble burst. I was a financial advisor when the subprime crisis fell apart. So I know where we're going. I can look at a chart and I can say, this has happened before. This chart's the chart I look at on a regular basis. So I'm then saying, okay, is it going to go further? And I think it probably will. And it'll come from if Putin creates some more aggression in his strive to rebuild the Soviet Union. And if you're too young to understand the rebuilding of the Soviet Union and what has happened, you need to read some of Peter Zion's books, The Accidental Superpower, and then his most recent one, The End of the World is Just the Beginning. And you can go into the description and I'll show you how you can get a free Audible copy of that if you're not already a subscriber to Audible. And then I think, and if you'll read Peter's book, he is a very high proponent that China just can't avoid a collapse. As we deglobalize and we basically say, China, we're not going to buy all your stuff, as well as we're not going to buy your flat screen TVs and your shoes and your socks and your whatever you want to sell us. We're not going to do that anymore because we can't be subjected to the security risk of our country, either on a health basis or you stealing our intellectual property. And now with 3D printing and robotics, we can, and your increase in labor costs, we can overcome some of those advantages that we've been taking advantage of over the last 20 years. So China, we're not going to be buying from you. In fact, we're going to make a concerted effort to back away from that globalization and come back to nationalization and make our country a more secure place. And then the other thing that I think causes me some concern is second quarter earnings. Yeah, I think Elon gave a statement that shows that their earnings are going to be down, but as the price of gasoline goes up, the expenditures in Walmart, Target, and Amazon go down. They have to. I mean, you only have so much money to spend. And if you're spending it all on groceries and gasoline, you're not spending it on your kids' clothes and your clothes and the things around your house. You're not buying new flatware and silverware and toasters and microwaves. So the business has to, second quarter earnings are going to be down. Now, some of that, I think, is already baked into the prices of companies, and that would explain why Amazon and Apple and Google, because advertising revenues are going to be down. But I think they're baked in. But nonetheless, when they come out with their reports the end of July, it's going to be a shock. And the retail market's going to say, oh my God, I had no idea it was that bad. And you're going to see another dip. And then right after that, you're going to have the November elections. And how that sways is either a positive or a negative. But I believe we can get to Christmas and we'll turn this thing around. Looking beyond that, from my historical perspective, what I know and what I believe is going to happen is technological disruption, which is going to be driven by artificial intelligence and health cure as opposed to health care. We've made some tremendous advancements in biotech and genome sequencing and genome editing. And if you're familiar with my channel, you know I have it used to be about 25% of my portfolio in that space. It's now probably down to about 15%. But I believe that's the future. I believe that's when we step back 5 years from now and say, what was the equivalent of the digital revolution? We're going to see healthcare revolution. And again, put it into perspective. My family is ridden with death from cancer. If I can take cancer out of my body, if I can take it out of my bloodline, and so if my grandkids can take it out of our blood, I'll pay anything to get it done. Anything that I can afford. I'll mortgage my house to do it, to make sure that my great grandchildren never get cancer. I'll do anything that. I'll put off buying a Tesla for $75,000 to get that done. So I think that puts it into a perspective of importance. Now, right now, we have also a supply chain issue. And so I'm not a big investor at this point in 3D printing, but I've taken a beating on them. Not a big investor in robotics because I can't identify who's going to build the robots that are going to be in the factories, probably, in fact, going to be in the Amazon distribution centers, making the products that they're going to ship to you, as opposed to having someone else make them. I believe that's going to be a part of Amazon's future. So with that in mind, I know where I want to invest. And then we have our energy situation. Yeah, I did a video of how Exxon is basically ripping us off, in that their earnings per share are up some threefold, while they're saying, well, yeah, but it's the price of gas, well, or oil. Well, yeah, but you control the price of oil. You're the guy who drills it out of the ground, brings it out of the ground, and you're the guy who pumps it to your refineries. So don't tell me that you can't keep the price of gasoline down when your profits, the highest they've ever been, were $1.50 back in 2019, and now they're going to be $2.50 in this quarter. So don't tell me that. You're ripping me off. And what I really don't like about that, I can take it, but that lady in the car next to me, you punched her in the face. And then when she went down, you kicked her in the stomach. And that's wrong, Exxon Mobil, and it's wrong that you're allowing governments to say, okay, we'll lower the price of the tax and allow the potholes and the dangerous bridges go. Well, Exxon, gain some humanity. I know you're 56 years old and your pension needs that $14 million addition every year so that you can live well after you retire. But come on, have some passion for the people, your customers who have gotten you here. Bring those prices down. And then deglobalization. That's something you must understand, that for 40 years, we have given up our manufacturing for lower prices. And we have basically put ourselves in a insecure position, both economically and militarily, and that's got to change. And it will change. And that will be what gives you the surge to come out of this depression, this recession, this downturn, to take us to new heights. And trust me, we are going to new heights. If you do not understand the healthcare, read these books. If you do not understand artificial intelligence, read some books so that you understand what we're doing is we're going back to the caveman who had one mind and one thought, to where we're now going to bring the minds of the world together, everything learned in our past history together, and we're going to put it into a huge bank of computers, and we're going to learn from it and make better decisions in every part of our life. And the first thing that you will see is in the medical field. And then it will come rushing at you and you will say, holy shit, I had no idea this was what's going on. This was what Google, Amazon, Facebook, Apple were collecting all this data for, and Microsoft. I had no idea. Well, I do, because I read every day. The future is faster than you think. The code breaker. The accidental superpower. Life after Google. If you aren't reading and you're playing in the stock market, you're playing at a disadvantage because you don't know what's going to happen next. I do. That's why I'm here. And if that's what you want, subscribe. Come to our Friday meeting. We have a Friday meeting, and it'll be later this afternoon because I'm doing this video on Friday, and we'll talk about these things. We'll bring our minds together. We'll give each other strength as we deal with a market that is beating the living shit out of us right now. That's what community is for. That's why you go to church. That's why you go to your coffee group. That's why you go to your AA meetings, to create a community, to give you strength as an individual to deal with what's coming your way. It's called The Power of a Tribe. I wrote a book about it. Yeah, I've written about 4 books because I want to share. All right, I've talked enough. Have a happy 4th of July. That's when I think you'll be seeing this video. Go see some fireworks. Sit on some wet grass. No, don't do that. And talk to you again later this week.